Hello, we are PlenOptika, and our mission is to increase accessibility of eye care to all. And to do that, we've built a handheld, low-cost device that provides eyeglass prescriptions at the push of a button. Why are we doing this? Well, right now, there's over 2 billion people in the world who are needlessly suffering from poor vision just because they don't have the prescription eyeglasses they need. Now, this has a profound impact on their quality of life. It affects their social interactions, their work, their education, and their productivity. Not surprisingly, this problem is most prevalent in India and China. In these countries alone, there's over 1 billion people who are living their lives without the eyeglasses they need. Now, these are tremendous numbers. This is a massive problem, and what makes it especially tragic is that the solution is so simple, affordable, and effective. In India, for instance, you can buy a pair of prescription eyeglasses for just $4, and we bought these in India about a month ago for just $4. So they're widely regarded to be one of the most cost-effective of all the healthcare interventions. In fact, for every dollar that's invested in eye care, the community receives a return of $5 in increased productivity. So the question is, if eyeglasses are so affordable and effective, why are there still 2 billion people in the world who have poor vision just because they don't have the eyeglasses they need? Well, it's a complex problem, and we won't be able to solve every aspect of it. But in India and other low-resource settings, you can group the problem into 2 main areas. There's a perception problem, and then there's also an access problem. So perception is many people in low-resource settings may not know that they have poor vision or think it's a natural part of aging that there's no value in correcting. And there's organizations that are tackling this problem right now. The WHO, Vision 2020, the governments of India and China are investing in reducing this perception barrier to getting eyeglass prescriptions. Now, on the other hand, once someone decides they need glasses, it's challenging to get a prescription and get the eyeglasses you need. So that's where PlenOptika can come in. Now, the problem in accessibility in these low-resource settings is mainly there's an acute shortage of trained professionals that can provide eyeglass prescriptions. And to illustrate this, let's compare the US and India. In the US, there's 1 optometrist for every 6,000 people. Now, in rural India, where 70% of the population lives, the ratio is 1 optometrist for every 250,000 people. And it's impossible for these optometrists, to provide the same level of care to a vastly larger population with inferior technology. So this is what it looks like in real life. We visited Aravind Eye Hospital, which is one of the leading eye institutes in the world, and the largest eye care provider in India. And if you go into the waiting rooms, you see never-ending lines of people. And they've told us confidently that if they could increase their capacity, they'd be able to serve more patients. So we think that a technology could really improve the efficiency of these eye institutes and eye care providers and make a big impact on improving accessibility of eye care. So one of the major problems is that to provide eyeglasses requires 2 years of training to learn how to use this equipment that costs about $500. And then after that, you're able to prescribe a pair of eyeglasses in about a 15-minute test. And this approach is just insufficient to meet this enormous demand of eye care in low-resource settings. And this technology that they're using is over 150 years old. So we think there's an opportunity here to introduce a new technology that's going to increase the throughput of these optometrists and also reduce the amount of training that they need to learn how to use it. So to make an impact here in rural India, this technology needs to be affordable, fast, and easy to use. Now, as I already mentioned, in low-resource settings, they use a retinoscope and trial lenses, which is cost-effective, but it's neither fast nor easy to use. In high-resource settings, we use autorefractors to speed up the process, but these things cost $10,000, and so they're inaccessible to eye care providers in India. Now, there's another technology called wavefront aberrometry that can provide an even more accurate eyeglass prescription. And this is, in fact, used to guide LASIK surgery. But this technology costs several tens of thousands of dollars. So it's completely out of the range of accessibility for optometrists in India. There's also an interesting emerging technology called Netra. And this is a yet unproven approach to improving eye care. The way it works is by introducing a low-cost cell phone add-on. You can ask a user to go through a series of tests and then come up with a prescription. But this process is inherently slow, and more importantly, the quality of your prescription is going to depend on the quality of the user feedback. So we think that this approach is not going to be able to solve the problem in itself. Now there's a technology void here, and our approach is to build a device that's simultaneously affordable, fast, and easy to use. We call it the QuickSee. And I have a prototype here. So it's easy to use as a point-and-shoot digital camera. You just hold it up to your eye, look at a red dot, push a button, and you'll instantly get your prescription. So it can be as quick and easy as this. So we've developed this technology at MIT. It's 10 times faster than a retinoscope. And so if we can conservatively estimate that this is going to double the throughput of optometrists in India. Not only that, it's very low cost. We can sell this profitably at about a $500 price point. So the impact for the community is that an optometrist with the QuickSee device is going to be able to provide an extra 12,000 prescriptions per year with this device. For the community, that's going to mean an increase in income of about $500,000 a year. The value proposition to the customer, the optometrist, is that if we're selling these devices for $500, they'll be able to completely recoup the cost that they've invested in this device by the increased prescriptions and eyeglasses that they've sold in less than 3 months of use. So I hope you're excited now about the technology that we've developed and about the problem we're solving. I'm going to turn it over to Mike now, who's going to talk more about our business plan.
So we've engaged a number of potential partners and gotten a lot of positive feedback regarding the QuickSee product and its future prospects. We want to highlight a few in particular. So Arvind is one of the largest eye care providers in the world. They're headquartered in India, and we visited them, as Nick said, a few months ago, and they have articulated interest in partnering with us to test and validate the QuickSee product. Oral Lab is one of Arvind's manufacturing partners. They specialize in low-cost healthcare technology, and they've expressed interest in working with us to distribute and manufacture the device. Essilor is one of, is the leader globally in eyeglass lens manufacturing, and they've expressed interest in potentially working with us after our clinical trials, given part of the new strategy of really targeting and expanding to the base of the pyramid. The other providers and organizations that you see there, we've also had a number of conversations with, and they've also expressed interest in the direction PlenOptika is going and the QuickSee product. So you see a number of eye care providers, a number of both social investment firm and then a venture capital firm, and a number of eyeglass manufacturers. So I think the appetite is there among the potential partners. So we're very excited about that. As far as our go-to-market approach, we first plan to engage the number of major eye institutes in India. And these potential partners have sort of the concentration of expertise in the most advanced technology. And they're global leaders in eye care practice. And we plan to prove out the technology at this level and utilize and leverage their connections, as well as their immense influence to really facilitate the distribution and the adoption of the QuickSee product with other community providers that you see there. And really focusing and targeting on the primary care eye providers that, which are these vision centers. And we've estimated that potential addressable market to be $10 million. As far as the specifics of our business model go, as Nick mentioned, we plan to price our product very competitively versus what's out there on the market now. And our predicted cost of goods is about $250, giving us about 50% margin. We also have explored a number of other revenue opportunities, and one that we've landed on, which we think is going to be very palatable to our customers, is an annual service contract. It's moderately priced, and it's commonplace in this particular industry. As far as our plan and how we're going to attain success, our first milestone is going to be to raise an additional $70,000 to supplement the $30,000 that we've already raised, and with that money we'll be able to build additional prototypes and do additional field testing with the potential partners that we mentioned in India and China. Our next step is going to be to launch our product in January of 2015, targeting the Indian market with the potential partners that we mentioned. From there, about 2 years after product launch, we plan to expand into China. And as you see there, we predict about a break-even point right before the third year. at a 3% penetration in India. And we also predict $35 million in revenue in January of 2019, and that's based off a penetration rate of 6% in both China and India. And I'll now transition to Vong, who's going to talk about the vision of PlenOptika and QuickSee.
We've developed the QuickSee to address the inaccessibility of eyeglass prescriptions in low-resource settings. Our first market is India and China, and we've chosen this because it has the biggest need, but also because there's an existing infrastructure of the eye care pyramid that we can leverage to make the biggest social impact. We believe QuickSee will be used as a low-cost autorefractor in addition to trial lenses in this setting. It will allow optometrists to increase their efficiency, and this will be really useful in the tertiary hospitals or even in the village clinics. But in the future, we think QuickSee will revolutionize the way eyeglass prescriptions are given. We think this because we think QuickSee will be able to give a complete eyeglass prescription. Analogous to the glucose monitor, blood pressure cuff, or thermometer, we think eyeglass prescriptions should be easy to obtain. Last month we saw a shopkeeper in the village advise a villager about the status of his eyes. This shopkeeper does not have formal training and has no eye care equipment. What he needs is the QuickSee. The QuickSee will make an existing optometrist an order of magnitude more efficient because we're eliminating the step of subjective refraction and the need for trial lenses. But more importantly, because the QuickSee is easy to use, we believe anyone will be able to use it to reliably and accurately provide an eyeglass prescription. We envision teachers, nurses, shopkeepers in the rural village to be able to provide basic levels of eye care. We've assembled a strong, passionate team to execute this vision. We're comprised of 4 postdoc researchers at MIT, where we invented the technology, and 2 MD, MBA students at Harvard. We have a collective experience and wealth of knowledge in optics, global health, entrepreneurship, and clinical science. With this team, we think we can execute the vision, and we are critical to making this a reality. But we haven't done this by ourselves. We've also assembled well-experienced advisors and mentors. Our scientific advisors are not only leaders in vision optics and optometry, but they're also plugged in to the largest NGOs in India and China. Our business advisors, likewise, are very helpful to us because they have commercialized disruptive technologies and study the adoption of disruptive technologies in low-resource settings, in addition to commercializing ophthalmic devices. Even with such a strong team, risks still exist. We've broken up our risks into 3 categories: technological, clinical, and market risks. The technological questions we have are, will it work? Can we protect the device? Clinically, we need to make sure that the device will fit into current practice and that optometrists will adopt it. And there are also other cultural barriers that we need to be aware of in the market. To mitigate these risks, we've come a long way to mitigate these risks in the last year and a half. We built a laboratory prototype in an optical lab and then successfully miniaturized it into a handheld working prototype. To mitigate the clinical risks, we've started a clinical trial at the New England College of Optometry, which is currently underway, and we've also conducted field work in India. We've worked with the end user, vision technicians and nurses in these eye institutes, and iteratively designed the product so that it will be usable by them when we're finished. Along this journey, we validated this process and our idea in various entrepreneurial competitions and business planning competitions and accelerators. We've been recognized in the 100K, the Mass Challenge, and the Harvard Social Enterprise Conference. We've also developed and assembled a team of industry mentors and investors who are really critical to getting our vision off the ground. We believe that eye care is a basic need for everyone, and that everyone should have the eyeglass prescription they need. There's no reason this problem should exist. We developed an innovative technology to do something about this, and we have a passionate team which we think can execute our vision. We're PlenOptika, and our vision is eye care for all.